videos, or you stay up to date on news or watching Donald Trump. That's what I did yesterday for a brief area to catch up on the politics. But what's also happening in there is people go there to learn how to do things, okay? So there's a huge opportunity for local business owners to actually use YouTube and ship video consistently on frequently asked questions, should ask questions, how-to information, etc. The opportunity that I want to talk about today is how to use our little smartphone here in my hand. Whether you're an Apple user, if you're not, I will tell you, you need to be, just only because I'm an Apple snob. That's all. But other than that, if you have a Samsung or Galaxy or whatever you're rolling with, that's fine. This thing is shooting high quality, HD quality video, and there's no reason that you guys can't use this thing, and we're talking about that today, to ship your message, specifically via Facebook, and then how we can turn that into clients. Does that sound good? Yes?
Awesome.
Awesome. So let's look at a few steps. The first idea is to just completely allow yourself to be yourself. And I know this sounds completely cliche. And we hear this all the time in today's marketplace. Be authentic, you know, be yourself, etc. But that's the case. How many times? And, you know, football season is like in full swing. If you guys watch the announcers, they're all like little Tyrannosaurus Rex, right? They talk like this. Why? I don't know. I guess their speech coach and consultant told them to talk like that. But they probably don't go out into networking events, into other events, and sit there talking like this, right? They allow themselves just to be free and be able to express themselves. I'm one of those people that talk with my hands. Even if you're not seeing them, they're like moving over here off the screen. It's just how I communicate. So my challenge to you is when it comes to creating the video, and we're going to talk about that today, is number one, just allow yourself to show up. Now, when I say this, a lot of people flip into fear and scarcity mode because they're like, oh, well, I'm on camera. People are going to see me. Once they see me, they're going to judge me. If they judge me, then they're going to crucify me. But here's the reality, my friends, is you are being filmed right now. And I'm not talking about there's like NSA cameras or some stuff like that in the room. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Marion looking at Russ right here, right? Talking about the others in the room or looking. You guys are all looking at each other, and the cameras that are recording each other are your retinas, your eyeballs. So the way that you show up naturally is being recorded. So once you understand this, the lens of the camera is just another retina. It's just another eyeball looking at you. So if you're comfortable leaving your home, whether you're going to the grocery store, whether you're going to go to an event like today, you're being recorded. So allow yourself to flip the switch in your brain to then get in front of the camera, however you want to deliver this. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit, but allow yourself to show up completely, authentically you. Does this make sense?
Yes.
If we can shift that, well, now we can show up and be ourselves. We're not going to look like little Tyrannosauruses with our hand movements. We're not going to have to read a script. We can just allow ourselves to own our greatness and then ship our message in whatever industry we choose to play in. The second piece of this is to be present, okay? So if you ever go into an offline event, just like you're in today, this is kind of like an offline/online kind of hybrid, I guess you could say. So you're in the flesh there today. You're in the flesh there today. You guys are going to be having conversations with one another. You already have prior to the experience that we're having right now. And you guys were present in the conversation, right? You're not talking to Russ or Marion or anybody else being like, hey, Marion, what did you guys do? How are things there at the Tips, Tools, and Technology? You don't say that. I would directly look at Marion if I was there and say, Marion, how are things there today? And you guys can even in this experience see the difference between me looking directly at you right now, how I'm being completely present, versus if I'm talking to you like this. Yes?
Yes.
Awesome. So when you're shooting your video, make sure you're looking directly into the lens. Whether you're shooting a video with your webcam, whether you're on your smartphone, you're looking into the lens, or if you're looking here on the other side, you're looking into the lens. And you train yourself to look into the lens. So you're not looking here at yourself. If you do that, then it's no different than me looking away from you right now. I'm looking at myself actually right now, and I'm not present with you. My eye contact isn't being met. If I switch my focus, look directly into the lens, I'm completely present with you, right? And therefore giving you the respect that you deserve, right? This is a Southern thing. You make eye contact. It's how I was raised, is you make eye contact with people when you talk to them. So be present when you're shipping your video, when you're shooting your video, whether you're using your smartphone or whether you're using a camera, look directly into the lens. And at first, it's going to be a little bit weird, and I get it, right? But the more that you do it and the consistently that you do it, you're going to get better and better and better. Where you're going to be like me at this time in my life, where I can hop in front of a camera at any point in time and look directly into the lens, and it's very natural to me. But that was not the case in 2011 when I first started creating web video. I've done it so much that it's become very natural, where I don't have the desire to even look at myself. I don't care about that anymore. Some people, just for a kind of a tip here, or a tool, if you catch yourself being too distracted by your own image or the other people, rather than looking at the lens, take a piece of paper and just cover it up. You don't need to worry about it. Just show up and be present with the lens. That makes sense? Yeah. Now here's the other thing, is being confident and certain, okay? So people want to connect with confident people. They want to connect with those who are certain in their message. If you ever gone to a networking event or event like today, you're drawn to the people who have confidence and certainty. So when you're showing up on camera, make sure you're bringing that energy, that presence, that tonality, your body language into that experience. Because people are picking up on your energy. And I'm not trying to get too woo-woo, airy-fairy rainbows and unicorns on you. All I'm getting at is, if you want to stand out in today's marketplace, don't sit there with a script running on the iPad or running on the written whiteboard behind you, or a notebook paper, and you're just sitting here reading it. You're just monotone. Bring energy, bring passion, bring confidence and certainty into that experience. That's going to help you stand out when you're shipping these videos. So let's get into the types of content when we could create with the video. So you guys could ship how-to content just by going to the search engine and typing in how-to. And then scrolling to the bottom and looking at the related search terms that may get your brain kind of going, your wheels turning to figure out what types of how-to content to actually ship into the marketplace. You could also do frequently asked questions. All of you guys, including myself, have been in business for quite a while. You guys longer than me, of course, but you guys have been in business, so you've heard questions throughout your entire life over and over and over and over and over again. Take note of that and start creating videos on the frequently asked questions. The flow of the video is very simple, my friends. All you need to do is hop in front of the camera and say, hi, my name is, insert your name, creator of or founder of whatever company, where I help X, which is the audience, get Y results. A lot of people ask me, and you insert the question, and then you just need to authentically answer the question for however long it takes you. If it takes 32 seconds, then it takes 32 seconds. If it takes 3 minutes, it takes 3 minutes. Just, if you were in the flesh, I'm going to keep on bridging this conversation between here we are virtual, shooting a video, to here we are in the flesh, in humanity. However we would show up and answer that question in the flesh, in humanity, with real people, that's how we want to answer the question on camera. Because people want to do business with people they can trust and respect. They trust and respect those who are willing to be real and raw instead of programmed robots. They want raw emotion. They want raw and real people. So allow yourself to do that. And once you answer the question, have your call to action. That, my friends, is how you could shoot the frequently asked questions. Another type of content that you guys could create is should ask questions. All of you guys in different industries, and you know your industry like none other. So therefore, give them and be the police of your industry and saying, hey guys, I don't care who you work with in this industry, but before you work with anybody, make sure you ask them this question, and the answer should be this, and then have a call to action. So you guys can create multiple videos just on should ask topics. Now, the last type of content, because I already hear like the voices and the wheels turning, like, AJ, I get it. We can create how to, we can create frequently asked questions, we can create should ask. but I'm going to run out of content one of these days. Like I could see how I could do this for 6 months, maybe a year, maybe 3 months, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 days. But how in the world are we going to continue coming up with content? Well, the idea here is you must learn to bridge. And what I mean by this is every single day, each one of you guys are having experiences in life. Every single day, events are unfolding. And if you become aware and you say, how can this event help my audience? You can bridge the life experience and turn the life event into a life lesson. And if you understand this concept, you never ever run out of content, okay? So one of the examples, and I'm just trying to think, I mean, even like, let's see, what's an example that's anything happened today that I could bridge for you today?
How about the technology issues?
Say that again, Marion?
How about the technology issues? How could that
That's exactly where I was going, actually. Absolutely, right? So here's where we could bridge the lesson. So I could come up on the smartphone today and shoot a video on this to my audience, right? My audience wants to create a life and business that they love where they can work from anywhere in the world. So there's multiple things that I can address, right? I can address tools, I can address tactics, I can address strategies, but I also can address mindset as well. Each one of you guys can do the exact same thing, by the way. And so I could say, hey guys, AJ Amyx, Twitter Rockstar here today. We had this event. I was speaking at the Tools, Tips, and Technology, and I needed to get them a video. And I had overcommitted my time and wasn't able to get that to them on time. In fact, it's still uploading as we speak right now. And as a result, we had to be flexible. And as a result of my willingness to be flexible, I could have done a couple of things during this. I could have hated myself. I could have said, man, I'm a piece of garbage. Why didn't I get this on time? I could have crucified myself. And I could have sent this whole experience into this emotional roller coaster and probably ruined Marion and Russ's day if I wanted to make myself a victim, right? And basically take on all of this guilt and shame for myself. I could choose that. That could be a choice. Or I could say, Marion, this is what happened. What can we do to find a solution together? And ultimately, we created a win-win experience where I'm able to show up and deliver you guys value. You're able to get the value. Marion's able to teach and bring you guys together, and we're going to have this amazing experience. So the lesson, the takeaway, is we have a choice. When you do not are not able to fulfill your original expectation, just own up to it and have open conversation to find a win-win rather than buying into the guilt and shame, which ultimately always leads to blocks and stress and frustration and not creating a win-win reality. This is AJ Amyx reminding you guys to have an epic laugh, have a great day. I'm not, right? So that would be a way to take a situation that happened today. And by the way, I did all off top of my head just now. And we bridged a real life situation that's going on in the past 5 minutes, really longer than that, been all morning long, into a relevant message that ultimately serves my audience. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. And I broke eye contact here because I wanted to see your reaction here on film. So that's what I mean by the idea of bridging, right? So I'm sorry, I don't remember everybody's name, so I'm gonna kind of call out by clothing. The red shirt gentleman, what is your name again?
Red. That's his name.
Say it again.
Red.
Red.
Like the color.
Oh, red. Awesome. So red. What in your life, even just to today, what life experience have you encountered that you could ultimately bridge to your audience?
Lately, patience. I got stuck in Virginia for several days, waiting and a hurricane approaching. And some things you just have no control over. You just got to take control of the time you have right then to get things done that you wouldn't have done later on. But the opportunity is immediately presented to yourself because there's the time. You have nothing else to do. Do it.
Awesome. And then after you delivered that message of bridging, what would be your call to action to your audience?
I wish I had a good call to action on that particular one, but I don't. I'm owning up to it.
Awesome. No, it's good. This is good because you need to give your audience in every single video a call to action. And that, you know, Mary and I had this conversation a little bit today. We're not going to go into it right now, but ultimately your audience wants you to tell them what to do. They're begging you to tell them what to do because, number one, they don't like making decisions because they make so many decisions every single day. So you're actually, and this is very counterintuitive to my thought process and maybe very counterintuitive to some of yours, it will serve your audience if you will take control and tell them what to do. So maybe the call to action would be, in your case, Red, how many of you guys have been stranded in a flight and wanted to ultimately set the plane on fire, but you chose a positive action? Leave a comment below. And the call to action of leaving the comment below on Facebook, the more comments and the more likes that you have, the more exposure and social exposure you're going to have, right? Because it's exposing that message. So let's say, Red, you ship the message, you have the call to action, and Marion comments on that and gives her experience of, let's pretend, Marion, you flew to Dallas. And let's say you had this horrible time, Marion, and you shared this and you shared the positive outcome. And let's say Russ flew to Romania with me about 3 weeks ago. And let's say, you know, we had this horrendous experience on the plane and we shared it, but we found the positive in it. Ultimately, if on Facebook anyway, on the personal, I'm talking about the personal pages, not business pages, talk about personal right now. All of his friends, all of Russ's friends are going to see that he commented on your video. All of Marion's friends are going to see that she commented on your video, Fred, therefore getting more eyeballs, more exposure to your message. And the cool thing is birds of a feather flock together. Now, we've heard this message in personal development forever, and it's kind of cliche. Actually, it's very cliche. But the reality is if Marion is a potential targeted quality prospect for you, and so is Russ, the people they run with and that they're friends with are probably most likely targeted customers as well. They just don't know you exist because they run with Marion and Russ, and therefore they're potentially your prospects, so therefore their friends are potentially your prospects. Does this make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's what we'll talk about, bridging. Now let's get into some technical, tactical tools to creating the video. A lot of people make the mistake of shooting the video like this. We call this portrait mode. And when you film a video like this, you're going to have the image here, but you're going to have black blank space here and black blank space here, because the size of video that goes onto YouTube and Facebook and every other social platform on the web is made to be this way, okay? So when you're shooting your video, shoot it what we call landscape mode. So this is portrait. We want to take the vertical portrait mode and just whoop, turn it over here and shoot landscape. Always shoot your video landscape, okay? Never this way, landscape, okay? So that's going to be a big thing. The other thing that you need to take or become aware of is lighting, okay? So I have a light in front of me right now. That's why the lighting is good. Behind me here, you see I have blinds, and I forgot to close these blinds, and that's distracting, okay? This is I made a mistake here. I should have closed these blinds. But if I move in front of them, at least I can kind of block them a little bit so they're not distracting, okay? But I have this light here that's keeping a light in my face. If I did not have this light on, and I had this light behind me, I would be a silhouette to you guys, and we would call this being backlit, okay? You don't want to do that because the viewers can't connect with you. They can't see your eyes. So be aware of lighting. You guys can pick up lights on eBay for $100 to $150. They're not expensive. And if you're on a super shoestring budget, that's fine. You don't need lights at all. So rather than shooting the video like this with no light and having the light behind me, instead, I would just want to turn to face the light and allow the natural light from the sun to come through the window here, radiate my face, and boom, we're going to have a good, nice lit video by harnessing the power of the sun. So if you guys are shooting home video or in your office, just walk in front of a window. Make sure the light is what we'd say not too hot, right? But make sure you can stand back from it a little bit. And make sure the fluorescent lights aren't covering and casting shadows on your eye. That's why you need the light coming in. So just become aware of lighting, okay? So that's a tip there. Some other ways, if you want to shoot video outside, early mornings are great. Late evenings, but right before the sun goes down is always nice because the sunlight is softer. And also on days where it's overcast, where it's all cloudy. And when it's overcast, the natural sunlight outside is what we call a soft light, okay? So therefore, you're not going to have any hard shadows on your face. You're going to have a nice soft light all on your body. So anytime it's overcast outside, it's a beautiful time to film as well. Now let's check into some audio. So audio quality, great audio quality is something that will help you stand out from the crowd when it comes to video. And unlike our minds, we think that, oh man, having like good audio quality, that means I got to have a mixer and I got to have a microphone and it's going to be complicated. It doesn't have to be. So right now, I'm using my Apple headphones. The audio quality sounds pretty good, right? It's not bad, okay? So you guys could use these. This comes with your smartphone. It actually has a microphone built right into it. And a lot of times when I shoot my marketing videos with my smartphone, which I do very, very often, I plug in my headphones to the headphone jack, hold it up, and then boom, shoot the video. I have great audio coming into my camera that I can then upload to Facebook straight from my phone. I don't need to download it. I don't need to put in some type of fancy outro or intro, any underlying music. I can just ship the message to the people right then from my phone. The other thing that you guys can do is use in Audio Technica. Let me get this closer. Will it focus? No, not going to focus. Okay, so this is an Audio Technica ATR 3350. Audio Technica ATR 3350. And it's nothing more than a little lapel mic, right? So you can run this up your shirt, clip on your collar. It has a headphone jack that you plug directly into your phone. It has a little battery pack that you can get the batteries at Radio Shack. I ordered this thing over a year ago and I've yet to have to put batteries on it. Just remember to turn it off when you're done using it. And this thing only costs, you can go to Amazon, just type in Audio Technica ATR 3350. You can pick this microphone up for $17 to $26, I believe, somewhere in that range. I mean, it's very inexpensive. So you're not having to break the bank on creating great audio quality. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is when shooting a video, let's do this. You need to be aware of the rule of thirds. Actually, this would be a better thing because you can see me on camera here. So right now, I'm using the rule of thirds. Now, the rule of thirds is breaking your screen into, oh, here we go, into thirds. So think of a line right here. Think of a line right here. Okay, you guys following this?
Yes.
And then think of a line here, here, and here. Okay, rule of thirds. So if I want to do a shot that's in the middle, I'm in the middle third, my friends. My eyes are coming in and pretty much hitting the top third. Okay, this is good. This is abiding by the rule of thirds. Another option, let's see if I can do, yeah, we'll just kind of go right here, would be rule of thirds. I'm in the far right hand. Am I in your far right or left hand side?
Left.
Left.
Okay, so it's mirrored. So I'm in your far left hand side of the screen, but my eyes are still coming up here. Now, if I came up here and I shot the video like this, it looks weird. It feels weird to you, doesn't it?
Yes.
It does. Because we're used to seeing cinematography shot in the rule of thirds, but there's also this other deal in art called the rules of composition. This violates the rules of composition, therefore making the top heavy, and to the viewer, it just feels awkward, right? So you want to abide by the rule of thirds. Here we are with the rule of thirds. How does this emotionally make you feel?
Good.
Makes you feel good because we're abiding by the rule of thirds. We're also abiding and creating great composition in art. When I was, lots of people actually don't know this. In fact, I don't think I've ever shared this. I'm an art major at university. Graduated top of my class, summa cum laude. Art in my arts class, and as an art student, had many awards there at the university I went to. And one of the classes, I spent a whole semester, and I hated this class because it was the stupidest class I could ever think of. First, as a freshman, was composition. And our very first project was cutting out squares and gluing them onto a white sheet of paper. And then the professor graded us on composition, just on balancing the composition. And I got like a C, and I still to this day don't know why he gave me a C for my composition, right? But it's all about this idea of balancing a composition. So it's not too heavy on the top, it's not too heavy here, the weight's not over here, the weight's not over here. You're actually creating a great composition. For those that are an artist, Russ, you're probably an artist, yes?
Yeah.
Right? You can intuitively create a composition. It's just within you. Like it comes naturally. It's a piece of you. You just understand composition. I get it. I'm the same way. But for those who are not artists, it's okay. Just abide by the rule of thirds, and you're going to survive the idea of creating good composition. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. As far as composition, rule of thirds. So let's just kind of recap here. To create great video, to stand out in today's marketplace. Number 1, be yourself. Number 2, be present. Number 3, be confident and certain, my friends. And then the types of content, how to frequently ask questions, should ask questions, and then bridging life experiences, number 4. And then we get into the technical. Make sure we're shooting landscape. Make sure that we're becoming aware of the lighting and that we're using good audio, whether this is our headphone microphones, whether this is a lapel microphone. Doesn't matter to me. Just go ahead and create video. Now, here's my challenge to each and every one of you. If this is resonating with you, you're like, I do want to use video to get my message to the world. And one of the things I talked about in the description was to actually get you into conversations via private message on Facebook with potential clients. And it will if you will consistently ship video. So my challenge to you is to embark on a 30-day video challenge where every day for 30 days, you break out your smartphone and you create a video and ship it directly to your Facebook timeline, your personal timeline. And I can hear the voices in some of your heads. Some of it's going, oh, but my clients aren't there. They're my friends and they're my family. And what are they going to think about me? Are they going to judge me? Are they going to crucify me? Are they going to love me? It doesn't matter. You need to get over the fear and to ship the message, my friends. And you're going to be 1,000 bajillion times better 30 days from now creating video than you are right now. Even for me, I'm going to be better 30 days from now than I am right now. One of my favorite artists, hip-hop artists actually, Macklemore, he said, the greats weren't great because they could paint. The greats are great because they paint a lot. Now, the value in that is if you want to become good at video, do it often. And that is what this video challenge is designed to do. Number 1, get you out of your comfort zone and challenge that. Number 2, it's going to help you learn how to articulate yourself a lot clearer. You're also going to learn how to look at the lens. You're going to have massive experience by just shipping a message. And for those who are like, well, I don't even know what I'm going to say, that's fine. Hop on the camera and be like, hey, AJ Amyx Twitter Rockstar challenged me to do a 30-day video challenge at Marion and Russ's Tip Tools and Technology, and I'm scared. I'm just scared to death. Like my knees are shaking. I have no clue what I'm going to say, but dang it, AJ, this is video 1. Guys, have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. That's fine. Just do that. You're going to get better and better and more comfortable and more comfortable. So that's the message and the tools and techniques and the tips that I had for you today. And I'd love to open it up for Q&A for questions.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for the challenge, we're pretty challenging type people. We take challenges pretty seriously around here. So tell me, if we're going to put it on our personal Facebook page, should it be about personal interests or should we concentrate on our business?
If it was me, I would concentrate on your business. I do thousands and thousands of dollars via private message via my private Facebook. I have my business Facebook page, I do, but my reach is so low because I'm really not paying to boost those posts right now. But I'm able to ship my business message via my personal Facebook page. People comment on them, people send me private messages, and then I can use those private messages to see what they're up to, what are their struggles, to see if I can help them. If I can, then we get on a phone call or a Skype or a Zoom session to then see if they're a good fit. If not, I connect with them. I just become like a networker, man. And I'm like, hey, do you know Marion? Hey, do you know Russ? Hey, do you know Roberto? Hey, do you know this person? And try to connect them with the people that can help them. And it's a very powerful tool by just allowing yourself to ship your business message to your personal timeline.
Yes, would you talk about that a little bit more? I'm a clinical social worker, and why I'm continuing it is you do not do Facebook, you don't do all of this. So I'm very interested to hear how you do private messaging and that, because otherwise I've got a big shift I have to do to a win-win to figure out how to do it.
Awesome. So here's in simplicity, here's the answer for you. If you do not want anybody to know about a certain aspect you're sharing, do not ever post it anywhere on the internet. I don't care if it's in a private message, a direct message, etc. Do not post it ever. If you're someone like me who doesn't mind living their life publicly, then share and have private messages. So just a little technical privacy thing here. If you send somebody a private message on Facebook, it should stay between you and that individual. No one should see it. Keyword there, should. Even by Facebook's privacy policy, no one should see it. But it doesn't matter if let's say in legalities and social work, since that's your background, people could screenshot that private message and use that in court for whatever it is, protection cases, etc. Now, I'm not a lawyer and I don't know the laws like this is law and it's written like the 10 Commandments in stone. But the reality is, people can screenshot that and bring that into court from my understanding. So it just depends on what you're doing. If you're using it as marketing, that's fine. But if you're exchanging social worker info, that's getting tricky.
Thanks.
Did that answer your question?
That's great. That's helpful.
Awesome.
Yeah, we had a video challenge 2 months ago maybe, and started out with 7 days. I did 40 some odd days. I only posted them on our future media group, but I did no call to action. It was just information. So for me right now to start all over again, it gives me a new challenge as to how to incorporate that call to action with what I want to talk about or business, with my particular business, because I'm coming out with a new book. And a lot of that can easily be tidbits of that book and ask the question of how does this fit into your life, or what do you do in order to maintain that? So my takeaway on this thing is extremely large. Like you, my very first time I'm walking around the pool outside saying, I'm supposed to do a challenge. I have no idea what to do, but I'm doing it. And by the time the 10th one came around, the 20th one came around, it was much easier. And then all of a sudden I found out I'm supposed to hold it this way, not this way.
Yeah.
But little by little, I learned a lot just from doing it.
Awesome. So Fred, I want to give you another challenge, and this is going to serve you big time, brother. And so your call to action, since you're getting ready to launch this book, there's no reason that you can't turn this 30-day video challenge into a pre-launch for your book, where you break out 30 concepts from your book and you talk about it, or there's a life lesson that you encounter that you can bridge into the book and you share that openly. And then at the end, your call to action would be, hey guys, go to this URL, put in your name and information, and you will be the first to receive the opportunity to get a 50% discount on the book. Or you're going to have the opportunity to get the book before anyone else in the world. And ultimately, you would be building an email list of people hungry for the pre-launch of the book. So when you do launch, you pre-launch that to the list first, and then you keep on shipping. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be huge. Do you
AJ,
say that again, Marianne?
how long should the videos be?
It's a good question. So I would do anywhere between 2 and 3 minutes. If you go shorter, that's fine too. For the sake of this is the challenge, just kind of use it as like a video diary if you want. You can, if you're going to get into the should ask questions and stuff, I'd keep them to 2 to 3 minutes. Now, I use this exact same strategy on YouTube for a lot of local businesses. And the cool thing is which we don't have time to get into today, but if we got into optimizing the videos for YouTube search, what will happen is if you follow the formula correctly, which like I said, we don't have time to get into today, but you will rank, those videos will rank on the first page of Google if you do like 10 to 20 of the frequently asked and should ask questions. And what I've learned by doing this with multiple clients, and one was a car air conditioning mechanic in Las Vegas. And so one of the videos we shot was, how do I know when my AC compressor is going out? And that one has like 6,000 or 7,000 views, all organic over the past 3-4 years now, I think. He's never paid to promote those, and he's gotten thousands and thousands of views. He's gotten hundreds of leads from that video. So I share this example because it's a very, very commonly asked question. You as the expert would think, oh, well, that's so simple. I mean, shouldn't everybody know that how the sound or what it should be when the car air conditioning compressor is going to go out? I mean, that's so simple. So my kind of takeaway for you is the simpler, the easier the question, the more that's going to resonate with your target audience. These are just very normal questions for you, but for them, they want to know. They're hungry for those simple answers.
AJ, could you touch base a little bit more on the should ask content or the questions?
Absolutely.
Just give some examples of the should ask. I wasn't clear on that.
Awesome. So let's use the car air conditioning repair mechanic as an example. So one of the things his name was Wade Richardson. So he'd be like, hey guys, this is Wade Richardson here of AAA Ford and AC. And before you hire any car air conditioning mechanic, one of the things that you're going to want to ask them is will they put dye into your system to test if there's leaks? Because if they don't put the dye and they just say, hey, we're going to recharge your system, and they recharge your system, well, you're probably going to be in there in 2 more weeks because they didn't check to see if you have any holes, right? So make sure they're using dye. And hey, and then he gave them the call to action, which is, hey, if you really want to make sure, I think, what was his call to action? His call to action was an opt-in offer, which is, if you want to learn the 20 things that you should know before you work with any car air conditioning mechanic in Las Vegas, then go to this URL, put in information, you'll have instant access to the 20 videos, which, by the way, for the exact same 20 videos he has floating on YouTube, is just saving the customer time or the lead time because they're all on one long blog post rather than having to search through the interwebs to find all that information. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So and that's why I said, you're essentially being the police of your industry, saying, hey, I don't care who you work with, but ask them this. So if you were a chiropractor, you'd be like, hey, before you work with any chiropractor, make sure that they're going to do x-rays. Ask them, are they going to do x-rays before they start with you? Because they just get in there and give you an adjustment and you have something wrong that you probably don't even know about, they don't even know about, it could hurt you forever, and it's an injury that you're going to have to battle for the rest of your life, right? So by doing the should ask thing, it builds trust and respect for you. Because you're ultimately, if we get into kind of this law of abundance here, which is going to be a little bit woo-woo, you're saying inadvertently, hey, I don't need your business because I have a full roster. So whoever you work with, make sure you ask them this. And as a result, it's positioning you as the authority, and they're like, hey man, this guy really helped me out. I want to go see this guy first. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's your business, Russ? And let's anchor this in for you.
My business is Future Media Association.
Yes.
So what we're doing is we're building a community of experts like yourself to teach business owners and individual and lifeline learners to understand all of the moving parts in developing media and how it applies to their business and their life.
Awesome.
And our goal is to reach globally and help individuals learn.
Awesome. So for you, you may want to say, hey, before you guys join any other masterminds, before you join a Facebook group or any type of other online learning group, make sure they're bringing you this. Or are they going to do this? Are you going to have access to answer questions? Like whatever that they should ask, make sure they're asking that. That would be like a video that you could put out.
Perfect.
Awesome.
I actually have a lot of videos, AJ,
Awesome.
that I've taken as I'm driving down the road. So I'm
Nice.
not looking at the screen. I'm looking at the road, just shooting this video in the car as I'm talking about whatever I talk about.
Yeah, that's totally fine too, right? But I would say just honor the audience by saying, you could make fun of yourself and be like, hey guys, I would look directly at you right now, but if I did, I'd probably crash and die, and then I wouldn't be able to deliver the message. So I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to look at you. So here's the message as we're driving down the road.
Right.
So that's funny for the audience. Number two, it lets them consciously and subconsciously, you recognize them, and therefore the audience is like, oh yeah, he recognized me.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that.
Any other questions? Yes, Fred.
I noticed when I was doing mine that sometimes I'm looking at the camera to make sure that I got the thirds or whatever. It was more like 90%, but it didn't matter. But I push the button to start, and sometimes I have to wait or push it again, and I'm constantly going back like this to get the things. Then all of a sudden I'm ready to go. Is there any advice you could give us on how to minimize that awkwardness at the very beginning?
Yeah, so you're shooting your videos with an iPad, right?
No, with a Android.
Oh, okay. Is it like the real big one or kind of the smaller one that you can hold in your hand?
Small.
Okay. So you're just going to get better and better with it at time. So here's on my iPhone, let me take it out of the case so I can make this, I can show you this. And I don't know, I've never used an Android before, so you're going to have to apologize for my ignorance on this. But on my iPhone here, this button here, which is my volume button, it's also like what I can use to take pictures and turn my camera on. I don't know if the Android is like that or not, but if it is, like when I shoot my video here, I would hold it like this, and then all I got to do is hit my volume, my minus volume button, and boom, it's recording. So I've shot enough video by now where I know I can just hold the lens pretty much directly in line with my face, and it's going to position me in the middle, So you may look on your smartphone rather than you having to, in fact, let me just pull this up so we have a demonstration here. Because I see a lot of people do this, and it's a pain too. So you have like the record button right here, right?
Right.
And you're like holding it.
Right.
Like, all photos. You're holding it kind of like, here we go, like this, and you're trying to touch it, and it's like, oh, and it's complicated, and it's hard.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, so just try to see if they have that other button for you, and if so, it'll simplify your life.
The little remotes that they sell for $6.
You could do remotes but if you get into that, then you have to carry around a tripod, right? You can do that, but it's a pain in the butt. And so for many of us, we want to have the ease of walking around the pool. And this is the beautiful thing about technology and the opportunity that we have is we can create media anywhere we go. Selfie sticks. Yeah, you could rock with a selfie stick if you want to. You could look like a Chinese tourist. No offense, by the way. I have a selfie stick and use it. It was funny. I was in Washington, D.C., and it was amazing seeing all these tourists with their selfie sticks taking their pictures. Same thing in Romania, by the way. Selfie sticks are everywhere.
Wow.
But yeah, selfie sticks are great. I've used them a lot as well. But I'm just kind of honing in or kind of hammering in on this. I honestly just like the arm and finding that little button instead of the one that you have to tap, just because there's so many times, at least for me, I may be walking the dog, inspiration hits me, and I'm like, oh, boom, I got to shoot this. And I don't want to run back upstairs and get the selfie stick. I don't want to carry the selfie stick around because it's big and it doesn't fit my pocket or my backpack. So I just like the ability to, like Russ, like you, man, you're driving down the road, you have an idea, you pull out the phone, you don't have time, you don't want to make time to have the selfie stick and try to hold it and drive. That's awkward. You just want to sit there and hold it. So I would say just get used to holding it square and shooting the video.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Screen holders.
What about a quick, no longer than 3-minute video blog to put on Facebook?
What about it? What's your specific question?
Would you prefer that to doing the challenge instead of just talking? What about a 3-minute quick blog on the video?
Sure, you could definitely do that if you guys have the capacity to create the video, upload it to YouTube, embed it on your blog post, write a little description, and then post that every day. Absolutely, that's going to generate traffic to your website, And if you have opt-in forms on your site, it's a genius way to drive organic traffic to your website and ultimately collect leads.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I think there's a question at the very end of the table, gentleman in the white shirt.
No questions? No.
Steve?
No questions? No questions from Steve? He's been very quiet.
He's planning his mission.
Okay, awesome.
AJ, this is fantastic, and I really, truly appreciate the opportunity to actually meet you in person.
Yes.
Virtually.
Yeah, virtually in person. And Mary, do you got any, you want to?
I do. Thank you very much, AJ, for coming. And I know that you gave us a training a couple weeks ago, and I have this, I don't know, it was like a worksheet that you sent along.
Yes.
So anybody that did not receive that worksheet from me, please let me know. You did not? Okay. All right. I'll be sure and get that out. Do you have anything that is like that for this training? Do you have any kind of a like written blog post or anything like that we could?
I don't have any like written blog post or worksheet or anything like that. We just have content and Q&A.
That's fine. Now the video that you shot today was pretty much what you did today live?
Yes, ma'am. It's very, very similar. There's a few different examples, but it's very, very similar, like 90% similar.
So our members get to log into the website and see the videos over and over again. So if they, forgot something or they want to go back over things, they can see it again.
Perfect.
AJ, will you tell us about your Twitter 2 training that you're going to be doing next week?
Yeah, so next week we're going to get into the advanced Twitter strategies. So in the first strategy, we talked about all organic, building the audience. So the advanced portion of it is actually how do we monetize that? And so we're going to get into nothing but tools and how to use tools to analyze the audience to figure out who these people are. And then ultimately we can create automation to engage the first conversation. So you'll remember I'm really big about engaging and having conversations. So we can use some tools to engage, to automate that first engagement to get the conversation rolling. And then we also can use some tools to actually run direct message campaigns to a very specific segment of your following, let's say authors, or, in Fred's case, if he knew what the word was in his target market's bio, which I'm going to show you guys how to figure that out next week, you would say, hey, anybody who's following me who has the word, I'm just going to use the word entrepreneur in their bio, send them this direct message. And we would craft a message that would think through like a genuine message, which would be, hey, I noticed you're an entrepreneur. I have this new book coming out called X. I really think it would serve you. Here's a link to get it at a discount or to be the first to see it, right? And you use a bit.ly link that takes them to the landing page to get into your funnel. So you have to start strategically thinking through the campaign, saying, okay, I'm going to send direct messages via Twitter to a very specific segment of my audience. How can I sell to them without selling and at the same time not be spammy and add value to their life? And if you can think through that process and grab a hold of it mentally, then you can ship that campaign to ultimately get the targeted message in front of the targeted person to get the action that you need. So that's what we're going to get into next week.
Fantastic. And I know that you can't reveal the name of the person that we talked about today, but if you could tell us how quickly he was able to make how much money?
Yeah. So I can reveal his name. So some of you guys may know Roberto Candelaria. He is the CEO of Sponsorship Bootcamp, really good friend of mine. And he's like, hey, dude, I want you to come in and teach my people how to use Twitter. But before I do, teach me something in 5 minutes that will make me money on Twitter. And I was like, dude, like 5 minutes, bro? Like really 5 minutes? He's like, yep, 5 minutes, dude. I'm like, okay. So I looked at his Twitter account. And he had like a little over 8,000 followers. And I said, all right, let's run a direct message campaign specifically to your audience, and we'll promote a webinar. And so he did. So he had a webinar on sponsorship, and he ran it just to the author segment. And he said, hey, I noticed that you're an author. I'm hosting a training on how to get sponsorships for your book tour. I thought this would serve you, bit.ly link. And he sent it out to all the authors, which is only like 2,800 or 3,000 something, whatever. So he got opt-ins to the webinar. He converted on the webinar. But the other cool thing that happened is people started reaching out to him via direct message. He set up paid consultations. He charges $500 an hour as a consultant. So he set up some paid $500 an hour consulting calls, and people went to his website and bought his programs. So he's able to make a little over $2,000 within about 7 minutes, meaning it only took him 7 minutes to set up the strategy that I taught him. It took him 5 minutes to learn it, and 7 minutes to implement it, and ultimately made over $2,000 from that one direct message campaign. So the lesson is, once you have the audience, you can use the strategy to ultimately monetize Twitter.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And will you be on our Q&A tonight?
Yes, I will be on the Q&A tonight.
Wonderful. Yay.
Awesome.
Okay. So
Fantastic.
I'll tell the people here that are not familiar with that, what that is. Is there anything else that you need from us or that you'd like us to know?
How can
No.
people get a hold of you?
Yeah, the best way to get a hold of me is just Twitter. And so my Twitter handle is @AJAmyx, AMYX. That's a really good a good way. For those, also, since you guys roll with Russ and Marion here, you guys can just shoot me an email, aj@ajamyx.com. It's a great way to get a hold of me. If you guys want to set up specific strategies on how to use social media, we could definitely set up a time to talk and explore the possibilities.
Fantastic. Any last questions or any comments for AJ?
I love the way you teach, AJ.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you for this, AJ, and we'll let you get on about your day. And thank you for your flexibility and your ability to respond and react to technical challenges.
Oh, no, thank you guys. It was all on me, my friends. So thank you for being flexible and open.
Oh, no.
All right,
No.
see you tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye.